Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Shivali and I love to read, I love to listen to music, watch reality TV, and I love all my cozy little hobbies. In today's video, I want to talk about all the books that I plan to read in the month of August. I've finished 14 books this year, which I know doesn't sound like a lot compared to a lot of other booktube content creators, but I am starting this channel from nothing and I want it to be very realistic. I want you guys to feel like you know my typical normal routine and habits. And with that being said, yeah, I don't read more than 4 to 5 books in a month ever. There have been a couple months this year where I've only finished 1 book, so safe to say I'm just keeping it real, okay? I'm not reading 10 to 20 books every month. This is going to be a very ambitious TBR. I normally wouldn't choose so many books for a monthly TBR because I just simply know that I'm not gonna read more than 4 books in a month realistically. However, I have some stuff going on in August that's making me think that I may be able to finish a few more books than normal. I'm actually going to the beach with my family for a week in the middle of August, and typically when I go on a beach vacation, I fly through books. I read nonstop while I'm at the beach. Typically, I try to bring 4 to 5 books with me on a family trip. That is what I'm planning on doing this year. I have not finished all of the books that I brought on my trips in the past probably 3-4 years. I was not really reading very much for a few years because I was in graduate school. But now that I'm back into the swing of my reading routine and I have been such an avid reader this year, I'm really hoping that I'll be able to finish at least 4 books while I'm at the beach. So with that being said, I've thought a lot about this monthly TBR and I'm ready to get into it with you guys. Okay, the first book, well, really the first 2 books that we have to talk about. Oh, my cat just ran in here, heard me moving my rotating bookshelf, and she got scared and then ran right back out. That was funny. Okay, anyways, are none other than these 2 bad boys. I am reading Throne of Glass for the very first time right now, which has been such an exciting time in my life. I'm having so much fun. I am currently reading Queen of Shadows. Obviously, I'm about halfway, a little bit less than halfway through. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna finish Queen of Shadows before August, but I definitely will be finishing it. If I don't finish it in July, I'll definitely be finishing it probably the first week of August. So I'm anticipating finishing Queen of Shadows before we leave for our trip. So I have the tandem read next, Empire Storms and Tower of Dawn. So these 2 books are gonna be the first books on my August TBR. I'm actually not bringing these books with me to the beach, and I'll tell you why. While I'm enjoying Throne of Glass and I'm I feel like the story is just so addictive and I'm so immersed into the world and I love all of the characters. I truly am having the time of my life reading this series. I haven't felt this way about a series probably since The Hunger Games, which is even crazy to say out loud. But the reason I don't want to bring these books with me to the beach is because, yeah. I fear I may feel a little bit intimidated to read this while I'm on vacation. I know I'm not worried about having a hard time getting into the story and physically doing the tandem read. I know I'm going to enjoy it and I'm gonna have a great time, and it's just gonna be, they're probably both gonna be 5 stars. I already know that. However, I just don't think I want to commit to reading this while I'm on my trip, especially because I am hoping to finish a few books. I just feel like this is gonna stress me out while I'm on the vacation, and I don't really want to have to lug 2 huge ass books back and forth with me to the beach or the pool every day. So I think my plan is to finish Queen of Shadows for sure before I leave for my trip, and then I am going to probably just stop there. I won't start the tandem read until we get back from our trip. These are the first 2 books on the August TBR. All right, now we have to get into some of the books that I'm planning on bringing with me to the beach. I purchased a lot of books so far this year. I got this rotating bookshelf for Christmas last year. It was one of my Christmas gifts from my parents, and I have made it my mission to fill it up as much as I can this year. It's not full yet, but I've done some damage. So I have a lot of books to choose from on this shelf, and I think I've made a pretty good list of books, of beach reads. Let's start with, okay, this one. So the third book on my August TBR is going to be The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. Actually, I'm so excited to read this at the beach. I don't know why, but I love a thriller at the beach. To me, I fly through thrillers when I'm on vacation or when I'm just like lounging by the pool or at the beach. I just read them so fast, I cannot put them down. So I really, really wanted to bring a thriller with me on this trip, and I think that this is gonna be the perfect August beach read. So for those of you who don't know what this book is about, I will read the synopsis. Be careful what you watch for. Casey Fletcher, a recently widowed actress trying to escape a streak of bad press, has retreated to the peace and quiet of her family's lake house in Vermont. Armed with a pair of binoculars and several bottles of bourbon, she passes the time watching Tom and Catherine Royce, the glamorous couple living in the house across the lake. They make for good viewing. A tech innovator, Tom is powerful, and a former model, Catherine is gorgeous. One day on the lake, Casey saves Catherine from drowning, and the two strike up a budding friendship. But the more they get to know each other, and the longer Casey watches, it becomes clear that Catherine and Tom's marriage isn't as perfect as it appears. When Catherine suddenly vanishes, Casey immediately suspects Tom of foul play. What she doesn't realize is that there's more to the story than meets the eye, and that shocking secrets can lurk beneath the most placid of surfaces. Yeah, I'm really excited. This is actually going to be my first Riley Sager read. I have never read anything by him before. Yeah, I'm very excited for this one. I think this is going to be a great beach read. It might actually be the first book that I pick up when we leave for our trip, so stay tuned to find out. But yes, this is book number 3 on the August TBR. Also, I forgot to say this earlier, but for obvious reasons, I'm not going to be reading the synopsis for Empire of Storms or Tower of Dawn in this video because I haven't finished Queen of Shadows yet, and I don't want to spoil anything for myself. So you're not gonna get a little description of those books. But most of you have already probably read Throne of Glass anyways, so you know what happens. The next book on my August TBR is going to be I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman. I have been wanting to read this book for such a long time, like probably 2 years, and I just never bought it for some reason, but a couple weeks ago, I found this at Marshall's, and it was literally in perfect condition, like no bent pages, no rips, no tears, nothing, perfect condition, and I got it for $8.99, which I thought was a great price. So I had to snag it, and I just think that this is probably the perfect time for me to read this book. By the way, TJ Maxx and Marshalls has been stepping up their book game like nobody's business lately. I have found so many incredible book finds at TJ Maxx and Marshalls lately, and for such affordable prices too. Like, I have been finding new releases for like a fraction of the cost as what you would pay at Barnes & Noble or another bookstore. There's just been so many amazing books at the TJ Maxx stores recently. So do yourself a favor, check out your local Marshalls and TJ Maxx and see what you can find, because I promise you, they're not disappointing right now. But anyways, I'm really excited to pick this one up. I actually think that this is gonna be a perfect beach read for me. I love that it's nice and short, and I've just heard so many incredible things about this story. I've heard that this story is truly one that will stay with you for such a long time after you read it. For those of you who don't know what this book is about, the synopsis says, deep underground, 39 women live imprisoned in a cage. Watched over by guards, the women have no memory of how they got there, no notion of time, and only a vague recollection of their lives before. As the burn of electric light merges day into night and numberless years pass, a young girl, the 40th prisoner, sits alone and outcast in the corner. Soon she will show herself to be the key to the others' escape and survival in the strange world that awaits them above ground. And that's it. And yeah, I am very excited to read this. So this is book number 4 on the August TBR. Okay, this next one is a book that I don't know why it took me so long to get this book. I don't know why it's taken me so long to read this book. A Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I love Emily Henry. I've read every single one of her books, and I almost always read them while I'm on the beach or on vacation. So this will also be going with me on my trip. I think I waited so long to buy this book because I heard so many polarizing reviews of it. Like it seems like a lot of people who typically love Emily Henry's books really did not like this one. So it kind of scared me a little bit because I feel like I've never hear anything negative about Emily Henry's books, honestly. I feel like most people who read Emily Henry typically love her writing style and just her characters. And so she's definitely like an auto-buy author for me, I would say. So I don't know, it took me a while to buy this, but I finally have it. This is another book that I found at TJ Maxx. The synopsis of this one is, Alice Scott is an eternal optimist still dreaming of her big writing break. Hayden Anderson is a Pulitzer Prize winning human thundercloud. And they're both on balmy little Crescent Island for the same reason, to write the biography of a woman no one has seen in years, or at least to meet with the octogenarian who claims to be the Margaret Ives. Tragic heiress, former tabloid princess, and a daughter of one of the most storied and scandalous families of the 20th century. When Margaret invites them both for a 1-month trial period, after which she'll choose the person who will tell her story, there are 3 things keeping Alice's head in the game. 1, Alice genuinely likes people, which means people usually like Alice, and she has a whole month to win the legendary woman over. 2, she's ready for this job and the chance to impress her perennially unimpressed family with a serious publication. 3, Hayden Anderson, who should have no reason to be concerned about losing this book, is glowering at her in a shaken-to-the-core way that suggests he sees her as competition. But the problem is, Margaret is only giving each of them pieces of her story, pieces they can't swap to put together because of an ironclad NDA and an inconvenient yearning pulsing between them every time they're in the same room. And it's becoming abundantly clear that their story, just like the tale Margaret's spinning, could be a mystery, a tragedy, or a love ballad, depending on who's telling it. I'm intrigued. Honestly, the synopsis kind of reminds me a little bit of Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. A little. I don't know. If you've read this book, let me know if you've also thought the same thing. But I'm excited. I think I'm going to have a fun time. I think it's going to be a quick and easy read for me. And yeah. Book number 5. This next one I'm so excited about. And it's probably a book that you guys have seen all over your feeds and your social medias for months. And that is Yesteryear by Carol Claire Burke. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Another book I found at Marshall's. And again, perfect condition. And it was $14.99. So pretty good price for a new release, if I do say so myself. I'm sure I don't even have to tell you what this book is about because it's been everywhere. This book has truly blown up since its release, and it has kind of taken over the bookish internet. I'm very, very excited to read this. I've heard polarizing reviews on both ends of the spectrum. Some people really love this book, other people really hated this book. The most consistent thing that I've probably seen about this book is that a lot of people really, really did not like the main character in this book and found it very hard to root for her. But I am really excited to read this book. I think it's going to be very, very interesting, and I think it's going to be very gripping. So, Natalie Heller Mills is a traditional American woman, a beautiful wife and mother who sells her pioneer lifestyle of raw milk and farm-fresh eggs to her millions of social media followers. Her farmhouse is charmingly rustic, her husband a handsome cowboy, her 6 children each more delightful than the last. So what if there are nannies and producers behind the scenes? Her kitchen is hiding industrial-grade fridges and ovens, and her husband is the heir to a political dynasty. What Natalie's followers don't know won't hurt them. And the angry women? The privileged Ivy League coastal elite haters who call her an anti-feminist iconoclast? They're sick with jealousy, because Natalie isn't simply living the good life, she's building an empire. Until one morning she wakes up in a life that isn't hers. Her home, her husband, her children, they're all familiar, but wrong. Her kitchen is warmed by a sputtering fire rather than electricity, her children are dirty and strange, and her soft-handed husband is suddenly a competent farmer. Carved into the wooden threshold is a date, 1855. Just yesterday, Natalie was curating photos of homemade jam for her Instagram, and now she's expected to haul firewood and hand-wash clothes until her fingers bleed. Has she become the unwitting star of a ruthless reality show? Could it really be time travel? Is she being tested by God? By Satan? When Natalie suffers a brutal injury in the woods, she realizes two things. This is not her beautiful life, and she must escape by any means possible. A gripping, electrifying novel that is as darkly funny as it is frightening, Yesteryear is a gimlet-eyed look at tradition, fame, faith, and the grand performance of womanhood. Yeah, I'm obsessed. I'm ready to read this. Yeah, say no more. Sign me up. I'm there. I'm there. That is book 6 on the August TBR. We are looking good. I think this is going to be a really, really great month of reading for me. Okay, we have one book left. So I kind of can't decide on this last one. I have 2 books, both by Ellen Hilderbrand, and I'm going to pick one of these, but I'm not sure which one I want to bring with me. So I have The Hotel Nantucket and Swan Song. I guess let's read the synopsis for both of them and then we'll pick. Okay, Swan Song. Longtime police chief Ed Capinash is about to retire. Renowned island gossip blonde Sharon is going through a divorce. But when a $22 million summer home is purchased by the mysterious Richardsons, Ed, Sharon, and everyone else in the community are swept up in high drama. The Richardsons throw lavish parties, flirt with multiple locals, flaunt their wealth with their yacht hedonism, and raise impossible hopes for everyone they meet. When their house burns to the ground and a vital employee goes missing, the entire island is up in arms. The last of Ellen Hilderbrand's best-selling Nantucket novels, Swan Song is a propulsive medley of glittering gatherings, sun-soaked drama, wisdom, and heart, featuring a colorful cast of characters, including the beautiful and timeless island of Nantucket itself. Okay, that sounds really interesting. And then Hotel Nantucket. Fresh off a bad breakup with a longtime boyfriend, Lisbeth Keaton is desperately seeking a second act. When she's named the general manager of the Hotel Nantucket, a Gilded Age gem rescued from neglect, she hopes her local expertise and charismatic staff can win the favor of the new London billionaire owner, as well as that of a wildly popular Instagram tastemaker who can help put them back on the map. And while the renovated Hotel Nantucket appears to be a blissful paradise, complete with a celebrity chef-run restaurant and an idyllic wellness center, there's a lot of drama behind closed doors. The staff and guests have complicated pasts, and the hotel can't seem to overcome the bad reputation it earned in 1922 when a tragic fire killed 19-year-old chambermaid Grace Hadley. With Grace gleefully haunting the halls, a staff harboring all kinds of secrets, and Lisbeth's own romantic uncertainty, is the Hotel Nantucket destined for success or doom? Okay, so they both sound very good, but very, very different. Honestly, I kind of am leaning more towards Swan Song. I think that this is gonna be a better beach read for me. So I think I'm gonna choose Swan Song. And I hope that I really like her writing because she has a lot of books that I would love to get to for future summer reads if I love this one and if I love this one too whenever I do get to it. That is the 7th and final book on the August TBR. All right, wow. So this is quite a stack. I'm actually really excited, like looking at them all together. I feel like I'm gonna have such a good month of reading. Like I said at the beginning of this video, this is a very ambitious TBR for me. I don't normally finish this many books in a month. So it will be very interesting to see how many of these books that I actually get to. But I'm optimistic. I think I can do better than I'm expecting. If you have read any of these books, please comment down below. Let me know which ones were your favorite, which books you're most excited for me to get to. And if you like this video, please give me a like or consider subscribing and stick around. I would love to have ya. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!